Hi, I'm Whitney Putnam, and I'd love to share a part of my story with you. As a woman, I know shame like I know a bad haircut, and I've had a few. I know what it feels like to react to social expectations by making myself smaller. I've learned unspoken rules about when I can or can't speak. And worse, I've conceded when others have thought that I should simply sit still and look pretty. I would dare to suggest that most of us know what it feels like to be unworthy, unseen, and devalued. Navigating womanhood is already challenging. Sadly, shame heaps up those challenges by shouting words of unworthiness and speaking a language of isolation over us. It creates a quiet grief. Let it also be noted, I didn't need much external encouragement for this story my internal dialogue with shame was telling to compound. It only took a few harsh words from a close companion to leave me feeling gutted and hurt beyond words. She betrayed me by overstepping my boundaries and aiming at my weakness, and I felt deep humiliation. As her words reverberated, sad, hot tears cut through my pink blush on my cheeks, and a depressing inner script formed in my mind. What if she was right? What if I didn't measure up and I would never fit the mold of the perfect mom? What if I was the failure she saw in me? And there they were, new neurological pathways forming every time I gave her words and this feeling of shame one more thought. For some time afterward, her sucker punch wired its own highway through my mind. My thoughts raced with no speed limit in sight. And this is what shame does. Shame makes us run as fast as we can from the truth of who we are. The first people God created lived in a magnificent garden filled with colors and sounds our imaginations can't even begin to comprehend. But can you try to imagine what their surroundings meant? Can you try to picture what a perfect, most creative, every single resource at his fingertips God would create in his garden? Can you see it? Can you run between the trees, touching every single leaf? Can you inhale the smell that's better than any perfume you've ever known? Can you feel God's closeness? Can you sense his love? From the beginning, God created human beings, male and female, in God's image, Genesis 1:27. Soak in the whole story of Genesis 1 and notice the details, the stars, the animals, every single kind, the expanse of the waters, and the light separated from the darkness. That's the God of the Bible, one of expansive creativity, whom every creature in creation knows, recognizes as maker. Then there's you, more esteemed than all the animals. You as a human are among those worthy to be created in God's image. You are God's image, one of the Creator's representatives. You were created to show the rocks, the dolphins, the stars, the waters, and even your prayers exactly what God is like. You and I and every person who has ever lived and will ever live were deemed worthy from the very beginning. But I know the voices get loud and we feel we look nothing like the woman we're comparing ourselves to. Her accomplishments seem beyond and above. What mountain could we ever climb to look as worthy as her? When we compare ourselves and allow our minds to dwell on these thoughts, we find that we are constantly running and still falling short. Dear woman, what if how you represent God is exactly the expression another woman needs? And what if how she expresses God is the one you need? You are a unique and worthy expression that God shines through to help your corner of the world understand him better. All your color, all your light, all your imperfections that God is constantly working on to bring more beauty. All your gifts and all your talents are the exact images God is bursting through in you to show others what God is like. Our lives might not feel like walking in the cool evening breezes, and the weight of the world might be pressing in on us. But you and I, we can retreat to a kind of garden. We can go again and again to where we find truth, God's word. the Bible and remember God created human beings in his own image. In the image, God created them, male and female. He created them. Genesis 1:27. You and I are worthy, and the world can't wait to see God's unique expression that each of us brings. No more hiding or running down neurological highways of shame and untruth. Only the truth of the greatest story of all time deserves to replay in our minds. It's a story of a big, creative God making us, deeming us worthy. Let's take a moment to reflect. What are ways you have felt unworthy, unseen, or devalued in your life? How does knowing and wholeheartedly believing that you are made in God's image begin to rewire your thoughts and feelings of shame? Now let's take a moment to imagine. Think back to a time when you felt unworthy, unseen, or devalued in your life. Consider sharing how the truth of being made in God's image can change how you feel about yourself or your place in the world. Join the conversation at everywoman's-story.com.